Anna here, and today I'll be taking a look at a roll and write game made by the couple Inka and Markus Brand that also brought you the Exit game series. In this roll and write, you are going to be trying to be the fastest at crossing off certain colors and crossing off columns, because when you are the fastest, you are going to score more points than the other players. I am first, of course, going to show you how you are going to achieve this, and if I had any fun playing this roll and write game. At the start of the game, you have to start in the middle row, and after that you have to always connect to a piece that you have already crossed off. So let's say that you've crossed off this blue area, then you have to, on subsequent turns, cross off an area that is connected to that one, and it isn't allowed to be diagonally, it has to be next to it. So what is a good dice roll? When you are looking at your dice, you always have to think about what color is a color that I can cross off now and is next to an area that I've already crossed off, and what numbers. Because if you, for example, would choose the orange and 3, you are not allowed to say, oh, I have an area of 2, I have the 3, I am just going to do 3 here. No, you have to always exactly match the area. You are allowed, though, to pick less amount of a roll. So you could, for example, do only 1 in here, but then on a subsequent turn you have to exactly throw this again to be able to cross off the other one in that same area. You also have jokers. With this one, you are allowed to choose any number that you want, and this is also for the color. And when you use that, you have to cross off an exclamation point down there, and when all your exclamation points are gone, you are not going to be able to use those jokers anymore. So let's say that you picked this one and you were first player, then all the other players are only going to be able to choose a number for themselves and the color with the remaining dice. So when it is your turn, you can actively choose something that is going to make sure that another person is not going to be able to have that color to cross something off that he or she really wants, and you have first pick. And on all your other turns, you just have to work with the dice that are going to be left by the active player. This is going to continue, and of course you want to know, Anna, how am I going to win? You are going to score in multiple different ways. You are going to have a bonus if you are the first player to cross off all the numbers, or I mean all the areas from a certain color. So that would give you 5 points, and all the subsequent players that also achieve this are just going to get the 3 points. So at the moment that this happens, you're going to say, I was the first one, and that is going to be crossed off for all the players, so they know that they're not longer going to be able to get that first player bonus. We also have for each row, or I mean for each column, the same kind of mechanic. So if you are the first to finish this row, this column, you're going to score 2 points, and all the other players are only going to be able to score 1 point. And as you can see, the further down we go, the more points you are going to be able to get. Then we are also going to score a point for every exclamation point that you have left at the end of the game. And as you can see, there are certain stars on the map, and you are going to get -2 points for every star that you didn't cross off. And that is going to be your total score. The game is going to end when a player, and it doesn't matter if he was the first or the second on a certain color, is going to be able to finish off 2 colors. And then the game is going to end, and we are going to check our scoring on every different scoring opportunity, and the player with the most points wins the game. I really liked what Inka and Markus did here. This is an excellent roll and write in the spirit of Quicks or some of those other pretty easy to understand roll and writes that you can play excellently with your parents that play Yahtzee or another kind of that sort of game. I had a lot of fun. There are a lot of ways to score points. Everyone is just going to get the game immediately, and the fact that you can pick the combination that you want when you're the active player is a nice kind of tactical decision right there, because you're going to be like, okay, these dice are not even going to be really what I want, but you surely want it, so I'm going to get them away from you. You are really going to try to get to those corners to score as much points as possible, as fast as possible. But when you go for a certain area, somebody else is probably going for the other. You cannot do everything, so you really have to make those tactical decisions of, am I going for this corner, hoping that I will be the first, or am I going for these points that I'm certain I'm going to get, but they're going to be a little less points. The other thing is, because the players determine when the game is going to end, you will sometimes have the thing that you're going to be like watching over the shoulder of the other player and going like, yeah, I could end the game by finishing this last color, but I'm not gonna do that because I need that last row to score more points than you are going to score. There are so many different ways to score points. You can go for those columns, you can go for the different colors, and of course you can also try to get all those different stars filled out. So there are multiple ways, paths that lead to victory, but it's important to keep a certain kind of balance. Other thing that I want to point out, this game is going to be fun with 2 players, because then you really know what the decisions that you make are going to affect the other player. It's also going to be fun with 4, but then it's just more of, you cannot really keep track of what everyone is doing, and just going to maximize your points and trying to get as fast done as fast as you can with filling the columns and getting all the colors done. So I really liked it. There's not a lot of downtime, because everyone is going to use the same dice roll, and you're always going to pick off something. Only if you're the active player, you're going to have an extra decision to make. So in that way, everyone is going to be engaged and having fun with Noch.